Y'all, I'd like to introduce you to the City Builder Starter Kit, a new asset from J&A Mobile. This asset can help you build games like DragonVale, Simpsons Tapped Out, or even Clash of Clans. It provides a fully working sample game as well as data-driven XML files for creating your own editions and an extensible and easy to use codebase. Let's start the game. We have two resource types, one called resources, another called gold. You can call them something different in your own game. Resources are used to build things and are sometimes called GP or coins. Gold is used to speed things up and is usually associated with in-app purchases. It's sometimes called gems or cash. Let's start by building. We see a number of buildings, but currently only the sawmill building is unlocked. We haven't met the requirements for the other buildings. Let's place the building. We can't place it where there's an obstacle. Click Build, and the building begins to build. As with all these kinds of games, if we stop the game and wait some time before starting it, we'll see that progress has continued and now the building is finished. Acknowledge it and the building is ready. We can move the building around. For example, we could place it over here, or we could move it back. If we start to move it and cancel it, it goes back to where it was. We can sell the building. Currently I've got it set to enable me to sell the building for resources or for gold, but you can disable the sell for gold option. For now, let's not sell it. Let's instead invoke a building specific activity called gather. Clicking this activity starts a timer, and when the timer expires, I'll be rewarded with some resources. While that's happening, let's build a barracks. If we're impatient, we can click the icon and speed up. Doing this costs gold, but finishes the building immediately. We can see now that our gather activity is finished. Let's click it and see that we gain some resources. Let's trigger that one again. In the meantime, we might clear some of these obstacles from our path. The barracks allows you to train units. Let's click Train. We can see there are two unit types currently configured, but we haven't unlocked the pikeman unit because we require the Fighters Guild. Let's start by training a swordsman. Our clearing is finished. Let's gather some more resources. And because I'm feeling impatient, let's speed up the clearing here. Our soldier's now been trained. If we click back in the building, we can see a list of our current units. Currently we have a swordsman, and we have the option to dismiss him if we're not interested in his services. Let's cancel that. Now that we have some more resources, let's build a Fighters Guild. Over here close to the barracks makes sense. And because we always want resources, let's start gathering some more. We'll see that it's taking some time. So while I'm feeling impatient again, let's invoke the speed up. You'll notice the cost of everything at the moment is only 1 gold. That's because I've set a rate of 1 gold equals 2 minutes. Let's collect some more resources and go back to the Fighters Guild. We can see that pikemen are now unlocked. Let's train one. Let's gather and speed up to get some more resources. And to make it even quicker, we'll get another sawmill. We're getting quite low on gold. You can see our pikeman has finished training. Let's have a look. We now have 2 units. The barracks has a setting so there can only fit 2 units. If we try and train another unit, we're told we can't because we don't have enough room. Let's dismiss our swordsman. And we can now train another pikeman. We can finally afford to build the large barracks. It has a different shape, and you'll see that it collides just like the other objects. Let's put this over here with the rest of our barracks. Our pikeman's finished training. Now, in a lot of these games, you'll find that certain resources or certain activities are performed automatically. The game allows for this as well. Let's stop the game for a moment. And let's go to our data file. We can see here that the sawmill is configured to generate resources, but the current resource amount is set to 0. Let's change it. So the sawmill generates 1 resource every 2 seconds and can store up to 50 resources at a time. Let's save the data file, refresh, and hit play. If we click on a building now, we'll notice we've got a new option, which is collect. Over time we can see these resources are building up. We can collect at any time by pressing the collect button. We can still gather, and whilst we're gathering we can still collect. If the resource storage becomes full, an icon will appear above the building indicating that there's resources to collect. Let's go back to our building and see that we now have 2 pikemen. When the resources are more than half full, if we come into a new game, after stopping the game, we'll get a prompt just indicating that we have got some resources to collect. So here we see, although the resources storage is not full, because it's over halfway, we get the prompt. Again, that value is configurable. You could set it to 75%, 10%, or 100%. Let's collect those resources and gather some more. While we wait for the other building to build, let's have a look at how easy we can add new buildings to the game. We'll go back to our data file, and let's create a temple. We'll copy the data for the barracks. And we'll create a new object Now we press play again, and we're able to build a new type called temple. I haven't properly configured the colliders on this, so it's got the same shape as a barracks, which means we will be able to get some unusual positioning. So let's build that. And we'll speed it up. And clicking on that, see we're now able to train a new type called priest. Let's start training a priest. And while we're doing that, let's also sell up. We'll move away from our fighting ways and we'll become holy warriors. So we currently have one priest available and one priest in training. So that about wraps it up. I hope you enjoyed.